I'm not going to put it off any longer. As you could tell by the flowing locks and the glorious mullet, Anthony had a winning week last week, 5-2. He said he would shave his head if he didn't go over 500. You did?
I went over 500. I did say I would cut my hair if I had another bad week, but with my hair against the wall, I came through. You, on the other hand, Mr. Perfection last week. Not so perfect this week.
Not so perfect. I will take a 4-3 week every week. That's always a good sign. Craig, however, went 3-4. He'll be looking to bounce back. I'm sure we'll hear from him later.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll have some excuse and still have his usual inflated ego.
Are you going to mention Kelly Kapowski real quick? It seemed good luck for you last week.
No, I think I'm okay. Kelly and I are on good terms. We don't need to talk about it.
You just mentioned her.
You made me mention her.
Jesse Spano, Lisa Turtle, I'll take all the luck I can get. This is Game Day. The SEC is easily the best conference in college football, but there's just something about the Big Ten that gets everybody excited. That's no different. Saturday night, number 8 Nebraska goes into Camp Randall to play number 7 Wisconsin. This one is an absolutely huge battle. Nebraska, welcome to the Big Ten.
Yeah, welcome to the Big Ten indeed. It's interesting to see the two coaches taking different approaches to this game. Nebraska's coach, Bo Pelini, has said it's just another game. My guys just got to prepare, get ready to go out. While Brett Bielema has told his players, embrace how big this game is. It's Nebraska's first Big Ten game. Wisconsin's got national title aspirations. Nebraska's got national title aspirations. A lot of tradition there. So I think that approach is actually going to play off for Wisconsin. When you have a quarterback like Russell Wilson, why not play up the game? He's been absolutely sensational. No one's been able to stop him. Wisconsin's been very good on defense. Wisconsin's untested, though, which is maybe a little bit of a concern going into this game.
We'll find out which coaching theory works best on Saturday night. I personally go with the Wisconsin theory. This is a huge game. You can't hide that from your players. If you embrace it, they're going to embrace greatness.
Yeah, I think it's going to pay off for the Badgers. I think they're going to win this game. Taylor Martinez is a great quarterback, but Wisconsin wins 43-27.
Yeah, Wisconsin's a 9-point favorite, and I'm going to get them covering that spread. They win it 38-28. On Saturday afternoon, there's a Big Ten undercard, as you like to call it, Anthony. Michigan State, Ohio State. This could have featured a game with two highly ranked teams. Not the case. What's going to happen?
Yeah, both these teams are not what they were last year. That's obvious on Ohio State with the missing players they have. They're going to start QB Braxton Miller, freshman, making his first start. I don't think that bodes well for the Buckeyes, who are going up against a very solid Michigan State team, which has a very good defense. Buckeyes may have a tough time, even though they're at home.
Yeah, everybody knows what I think about Luke Fickell, the Ohio State head coach. He's a joke. He's an embarrassment. He doesn't know how to run the sideline. With that said, does he get the win?
Absolutely not. I think Michigan State simply is the better team. They're going to win this game 26-20.
I hear you, but I actually think Ohio State on the field is better. They're -3 in this game. They're going to win it 24-17. From the Big Ten to the aforementioned SEC, huge matchup. Auburn goes into number 10 South Carolina. Coach Steve Spurrier, not a happy man with the Gamecocks. He thinks his offense isn't playing up to par, and in some ways they aren't. But he's 4-0, the best start for that program in a decade.
Yeah, South Carolina is off to a good start, but Steve Spurrier doesn't want his team feeling too confident, reminding them that there's a lot of work still to be done. But when you look at Marcus Lattimore, he's been doing a lot of great work already. Have you seen what he's been doing? Just tearing up teams. If you want to fix the offense, maybe you need to hand the ball off to him more often to prevent Stephen Garcia from making the type of mistakes he has a tendency to make. And it's especially important for them to use Lattimore against an Auburn team that's not been very good against the run. I think now is the part of the schedule, part of the season where we see Auburn feel the losses they had from players last year. They're simply not the same team they were a year ago.
Turnovers have killed South Carolina. You mentioned Lattimore. He's a beast. He is a great player. Auburn, on the other hand, their defense is absolutely terrible. Florida Atlantic, averaging 92.5 yards per game, had over 300 yards against that defense last week. South Carolina, they got to be licking their chops for this one.
They do, and I think they'll be in good shape, but South Carolina has a tendency to make mistakes, as we said, and maybe keep games closer than they should be. So Auburn will hang around in this game, but South Carolina wins 32-23.
Yeah, South Carolina, 9.5-point favorites. They win 37-24. Next is the main event in the SEC, Saturday night, CBS. Number 3 Alabama goes into the swamp to take on number 12 Florida. Alabama, we know what they do. They run the ball and they play defense. Florida, they're actually running the ball too. What's going on here?
Go figure, two teams with the same identity right now. Both of them run the ball.
Oh. You know, I'm going to first apply my hate here to someone from your sister show, Matt Straub. Matt, you say you would never root for the Yankees, even if the Mets or Red Sox had a chance to make the playoffs? Well, you got your wish last night as the Rays won to eliminate the Sox. I would say go cry in your chowder, but I guess you're just happy the Yankees lost. Anthony, looks like you get to keep your mullet for at least another week. But that's unfortunate, because I've heard Kelly Kapowski really likes guys with shaved heads and goatees. Oh well, too bad for you. Brad, just like the Red Sox, you will start your monumental collapse soon enough. Now, on to my picks. South Carolina, -9.5. Clemson, +6.5. Arkansas, +3. Wisconsin, -9. Michigan State, +3. Navy, -3. And now, my game of the week. Alabama travels to the swamp to take on the Gators. Both teams with the same makeup. They'll both like to run the ball and play great defense. Florida has a big crowd advantage in this game, but in the end, Alabama is just too physical for them. Roll Tide wins 27-21.
Anthony,
Once again, rudely interrupted.
you threw your papers down there.
Yeah, I know. I'm just frustrated. You'd think I'd be used to it by now, but every time he does it, I still get mad.
You should know at any moment that you speak, that music will hit, and I will flip out, and you will sulk.
I like that he's giving me advice on women now. I don't really understand. The evil one doesn't seem like he gets out much, so. But maybe he knows something I don't.
He might know Kelly Kapowski. Maybe you start being nice to her too.
No.
All right, well, you started your analysis.
Yeah, I was going to say, both teams actually have the same identity. They run the ball very well, and they stop the run very well. So it should be an evenly matched game, but you can bet Florida remembers last year when they got creamed at Alabama. They're going to want some revenge in this game.
Yeah, and something you didn't mention, this is student versus teacher. Nick Saban, Will Muschamp. Muschamp was under Saban for many, many years. Now they're going head-to-head. Offensive coordinator for Florida, Charlie Weiss. You know the name. Does he get the job done?
He might pull out a trick play or two, but I just don't think Florida's as good as Alabama right now. They haven't been tested. Alabama's the better team. They'll show it 30-24.
Yeah, I agree with you. Alabama 3.5-point favorites. They win 34-28. Cowboys Stadium in Dallas, Texas is the setting for this next mega matchup. Number 14, Texas A&M. Number 18, Arkansas. This is going to be a preview of things to come for Texas A&M. They're going to the SEC next year. Both teams coming off big losses last week. Who bounces back?
This is a former Southwest Conference matchup, a future SEC Conference matchup, as you said. And as you said, both teams are coming off of very difficult losses. The difference is Arkansas was never in the game against Alabama. They got blown out. Texas A&M was at home, had a huge lead, and just simply blew it. Big letdown for them. I got to think it's going to be tougher for them to overcome that disappointment than it is for Arkansas.
Yeah, Arkansas's offense was kind of exposed against Alabama. Everybody said they were this high-powered force. They weren't. Texas A&M again blew a big halftime lead against Oklahoma State. They lost that game. Arkansas in this series has won 2 straight. Who wins?
Arkansas's offense gets back on track. And I'll give you a little extra nugget in this prediction. Arkansas wins 38-35 in overtime.
Wow, I like that nugget. We all like nuggets, I guess, if they're golden. Arkansas +3. I got them in the upset 28-24. There's only one team I could put in the doghouse this week. Anthony might be surprised. I'm not. Oklahoma, get in the doghouse. You barely defeated Missouri last week. You should have came out at home and destroyed that team. Thank God you're not number 1 anymore. Honorable mention, Jose Reyes, get in the doghouse. Bunt and take yourself out of the game. What a joke. Here's Anthony.
Brad's going to really enjoy my pick for the penthouse this week. It's LSU and Coach Les Miles, who continues to do a great job. He may be unorthodox, but they continue to win games against all odds this season with a huge win over West Virginia. Congratulations, LSU. You're number 1 and in the penthouse.
It's always special when 2 service academies get together and play college football. That's what we're going to get Saturday afternoon when Air Force goes into Navy. Navy, all about their run offense. Air Force has a pretty good offense, too.
Yeah, Air Force actually has the number 1 rush attack in the entire country, over 400 yards per game. You're going to see an awful lot of running in this one.
I love the pass as much as anyone, but I love watching Navy run that offense. Who gets the win?
I still like Navy's option, even though it's not as statistically as good as Air Force's. Navy wins this one 35-28.
Yeah, Navy's a field goal favorite, but they're going to win 31-24. We're going to end this big Saturday of college football matchups with a big one in the ACC. Virginia Tech, they're actually going to play a good team this week. Number 13 Clemson goes into Blacksburg to take on number 11 Virginia Tech. This one's huge. We all know about it. You love the Hokies.
I do love the Hokies. I'm actually going to take you back to a game in 2006 that I was at. Virginia Tech, unranked at the time, welcomed in a very hyped number 10 ranked Clemson team. Thursday night game in Blacksburg. Virginia Tech demolished Clemson in that game. The two times the teams have met since Virginia Tech joined the ACC, the Hokies have won handily both times. It's going to be a night game. The crowd is going to be rocking, and it's Frank Beamer's 300th game coaching at Virginia Tech. There's a lot to like about Virginia Tech in this game.
That crowd, as you know, is crazy. It's one of the best atmospheres in all of college football. 2006, you mentioned it. It's the same thing this year. Only this year, I think Clemson is much better than they were then, and I think they're a very good team now. Can they pull it off in Blacksburg? Completely different question. What do you say, Anthony?
I do think Clemson is a good team. I do think they're for real, but Virginia Tech's defense gets the job done. The Hokies win this one 27-17.
You know what? I've been thinking about this all week. Gotta go with the upset here. Clemson, plus 6.5, is going to win this one. 28-27. Hopefully Anthony isn't crying come Saturday night, but I got a feeling he will be. For all of us here at Game Day, Joe, Craig, Anthony, me, we'll see you next week.